Welcome to Ay Que Sad Podcast. Soy Jazmin junto con
Jessica? Marta.
Somos hija y hermana explorando el complejo journey de grief y healing. Queremos abrir conversaciones de duelo, ese tema that everyone avoids but is essential for healing. We'll share personal stories, interviews, and tips for coping. You'll hear heartfelt conversations from us and guests that have gone through loss. Whether you're grieving or supporting someone que está en duelo, te invitamos to join us. Juntos podemos crear una comunidad that truly understands the complexity of grief. Thanks for being here. Let's grow esta comunidad together porque grieving together means healing together. Today's topic is the unexpected nature of change after loss.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for sitting with us today. I want to start by something that's kind of been heavy on me. The moment I realized that grief was changing me, not just making me sad, because sadness is what I feel todo el tiempo. Siempre me siento triste. No he llegado al punto where I'm not feeling sad anymore. But I am such a different person, and I actually communicate that with a lot of people in my family, in my circle, de que yo no pensé que iba a cambiar como persona, que yo no pensé que I was gonna be a different version of myself. That to me is the most shocking thing. Like, who would have thought that after you lost someone you love so much, you just became a different version, like, nada que ver. Honestly, it just feels like night and day. I sound frustrated because I never would have thought that. I never would have thought that I wasn't gonna be the old Marta que se la llevaba like, "Oh, yeah," like, que le valía madre todo. And she was always, like, trying to hang out and party and do things, sin pensarla tres veces. And now I just feel more grounded, not because I'm happier, just because I am paying attention to everything around me, and I'm always living in fear of who's next. That's what scares me the most. I don't know, it's just something que I can't explain that much. It's just there and it's heavy.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sure Jessica can relate. She's had a few tough losses, right, Jessica?
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's hard too. And then you guys are year one, and I know I keep saying that, but it's so important for the people that are just grieving to understand that year one is crucial. It's in you're learning all the differences in year one.
For me, the part of my life that I never expected grief to touch was my livelihood, my parenting, my it's just like a constant shadow that I feel it affects everything, every part of me. With every breath. I honestly it's I can't say that it hasn't changed me either. Martha, I agree with you. It's with every breath I feel it in the morning when I wake up. It's literally my livelihood. It's changed everything in the aspect of how I see my life and how I, like you said, I don't feel like before I haven't even everybody knows like for the holidays I'm always the first one to send out holiday cards. I'm not even trying to do holiday cards this year. I'm like, man,
Everything
just
shifts.
yeah, definitely. So I'm not excited and I'm hoping that I do find like to get excited again about things. I like it's my first year, my today's his 10 months that he passed away. And that hit me today again. It's like every time the calendar, but this 10th month, it just it's again, it's like I'm not gonna touch him again, I'm not gonna see him again, I can't hear his voice again. I mean, I have videos, but it's not the same, like so yeah, that's how it's impacted me so far.
I realized I was becoming a different person the second I was on my way. It was week one that we had found out. I was driving to my mom's, and I realized that my mom wasn't going to be there anymore. And it just hit me, and I felt um como huérfana, even though I still have my dad, so I'm not. But I felt I was, and I was just here. I am driving like I would every day to my mom's house, but now my mom's not there. And I just remember it just like struck with me, and it changed me. Like I was like, I don't have a mom anymore, And that's the moment I realized that, okay, I'm I'm motherless. Like who's gonna protect me? I just remember driving, trying to get there, pero sabiendo que no iba a estar ahí. And I just remember the shift in my soul, like, okay, I don't have a mom physically, you know? That's the moment I realized that I had changed.
Well, yeah, I mean, all these things seem so heavy, and hearing it and everyone's different perspective just really, I don't know if it's triggering, but it kind of connects, right? But it makes you go back and think all these moments. Like it kind of makes you think, like Jazz, like who do you think was there for you in ways that you never expected and who actually disappointed you?
Um, for me, it was mostly grieving people, people that I wouldn't expect, people that you connect with, like, on social media that which, like, with you guys, um, with out of town family who's been checking up on me, and I have, like, one really close bestie that's always, always, always checking in, like, on the regular, just 'cause I think she knows that I'm not one to open up and talk to people about stuff, but she's that one that, like, is persistent, like, making sure I'm good. And she comes and visits me often and stays, with me on the weekends, and she's just like, "Let's just hang," and she's like, "Let's," she'll talk about Ernie, she knows I wanna talk about Ernie, like, I'm anxious to talk about Ernie, like, if I feel like if I don't, I feel like I'm avoiding it. Is that weird? Do you guys do
No,
that?
no, I do it, but I had to learn that I'm not avoiding it. I'm just I'm just sensitive, right? But I want to talk about her a lot. I mean, right, Jess? I mean, there's so many things, and sometimes you feel alone, right? Like even when you're surrounded by people. I don't know, Jessica, if you've ever experienced something where you were surrounded by so many people, pero te sentías sola
My
al mismo tiempo.
45th birthday, I got bombarded. I'm blessed. I was bombarded by texts, calls, posts, gifts, my kids, my family, my husband, everybody, went out of the way to make sure I had a really good birthday, and I did. But it was the loneliest birthday I've ever had. Even though I lost her halfway through my 44th birthday, I felt like I still got her that year. But yeah, like, moving 45 on, yeah, no, I was solo without her, and that hit me hard. Like, um, this is it. Like, I'm by myself. My mom's not here. Like, I can't call her for remedies or recipes or stupidities, or you don't realize how much you need your mom till she's physically gone. Yeah. And that was my 45th birthday. It was such a good birthday, but lonely at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy.
But I felt her. Very important. I did feel her.
Martha, how did you handle people who said things like, "They're in a better place," or "Everything happens for a reason"?
I mean, is this PG? Like, I wanna fuck fuck them up because and that comes a lot from someone who hasn't been through it. And I hate fucking hearing it, I'm sorry, guys, but I hate hearing it. That's triggering. That is one of the most triggering things you can say to me. So if you wanna lose a friendship with me, keep on saying that to me because I will avoid you at all costs. Because I get that some people yo siento como que me quieren callar, honestly, and there's a certain group of people I will talk to my about my mom, like, it's a better place donde está, no, si está in the universe somewhere, si está con Dios, si está con, just floating around, I don't know, I believe in God, y yo quiero pensar que está con los ángeles, que está con Diosito, pero yo la quiero aquí, yo no quiero que nadie me diga que she's in a better place, because it makes it seem like, did I fail you, mom? Did I fail you that you went somewhere else? Did you give up because you weren't happy here? Like, did we do something to you que tú dijiste, ya me voy, peace out? Like, when you say better place, and that's a triggering one. I don't know if you guys experience anything like that, but I don't like it.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. It's my motto for life. So I will say it. And I know it's harsh to hear, but years from now, I feel like we'll understand that. Like, now I value her role so much better that I want to make sure I live as long as I can for my kids. Like, you know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. Like, okay, mi mamá se me fue young, but I don't want to leave that young. And so I'm going to take care of myself because I want to last till I'm 100. I want to see my great grandkids.
Yeah.
So I do say that a lot.
Well, and there's so many different roles, right? So many things that happen that we didn't expect. Like if like you can remember the most helpful thing someone did for you, but the least helpful at the same time.
I mean, okay, this is going to be triggered. This is different for me because I've had three major losses in my life. My first one was my husband. I was 22, and at that time, my needs were so different versus where I was with my mom. You know, I was 22, I was a kid, so my needs were really different. And I had a core of friends in LA. If it wasn't for them, I would have never gone through that moment ever. Like they are so crucial and important to me now. And my needs were different. Then I lost my grandma, but I had my mom. So I leaned on her and we leaned on each other. But when I lost my mom, como que se me acabaron my lifelines. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my needs were different versus what people did that were helpful. But what I do remember with my mom in this version of me that when I lost her was a simple little like a text, a call. I have my goddaughter Daisy, my best friend Judy, and a friend Gloria. They gave me pendants with their picture, and I just remember thinking it was such a thoughtful gift, you know, to think of my mom. And then my comadre Gisela sent me across with her picture. And even though they, no, I don't need gifts, but I just thought they were such thoughtful gifts for me to continue to carry on with my mom. And those were super, super helpful because, like I've mentioned before, I'm not big on opening, so I don't need like you to call me and text me. But those, or just checking in on me, or just that hug, not saying anything. I remember those were super helpful to me. The least helpful were the people that wanted me to open up to them when I didn't feel like it, and I don't wanna open up to you, you know? Like, when they wanna drag it out of you and you're like, "Today, I don't wanna do it today." You know? That was the least helpful. I feel like when somebody's grieving, you either let them flow and let them open up, and if they are opening up, then be a listening ear, you know, be the shoulder, and if they're not, then it's okay, then just I don't that's how I am, but yeah, at least
Do you think that's kind of when you identified who your grief people were?
100%, 100%.
I know my
I
grief
found my
person.
grief sorry, my grief circle, I felt it right away, and I knew who it was, and, it was I felt like if it was my safe space right away, and the people that didn't, I noticed they distanced themselves, and so did I. It was clear as day who my grief circle was, and it wasn't necessarily my family or my core friends, it was just like and sometimes it was like, "Hey, we're grieving together? Like, you're grieving with me? Okay." You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, it was for me, it was instant. Instant.
I mean, and it's kind of like it takes you back, like the pressure of being okay. I don't know if any of you girls, I mean, I'll ask Jazz, like, did you ever feel like that you felt the pressure to perform and be okay?
I feel like, I
Like for people's
can't
com
yeah, for people's comfort. Honestly, it's like I know it's I feel like I have to tippy toe around certain people sometimes. And I think that's why where I'm having a hard time, like I'm just being antisocial because I don't want to put this front and I don't want to pretend like I'm having a blast when I'm really not. I haven't really done that many like outings, you know. I've only done like birthdays, like, you know, my niece, fine. And I think I'm just not ready, like really ready to be social. It's just and like I told you guys, like I feel like if I let myself like drink and like let loose, it's gonna be ugly. And I don't think I'm ready to do that with people who are probably gonna be very uncomfortable with it. So I'm
Yeah, do
choosing
it with
my
us.
yes, yes, we have to do it together. See, I could do it with you guys. I would definitely be down to get drunk and just have an ugly cry and let it out with you guys. But yeah, I do constantly have to perform at home with my parents. Like my, you know, I know my mom noticed that like my eyes were swollen. I went to sleep crying, and then the next day she was like, "Estabas llorando, verdad?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but like then like we hugged, and like I tried to like cry with her, but then she tried. I think she was holding it in, and I was holding it in, and, like, we can't I think it's because her and I are very alike, we're both Virgos. We're very alike, and I feel like we're both used to helping people, and we're not used to, like, venting with people, and I feel like we both were like, "This is weird, like, but let's, like" como que no sabíamos si llorar juntas o estoy am I here for you or are you here for me? You know what I mean?
Have a
Jessica, when did you realize who you were without your mom, and, how did you handle navigating that?
It was my dad's 70th birthday that we had all the family here. Obviously, it was a big deal for my dad. It was his 70th. and not having my mom, I remember looking around and thinking like, "Oh my god, my mom's not here." Not only was she not here, she never got to 70. So, that was like we had mariachi, we had a DJ, we had a bar, it was we made a big deal for my dad, but inside me, I was like, "Ay, no está mi mamá. I'm never gonna do this for my mom," like that. That was a hard moment for me. Even though you can't see it in the pictures, it showed because I drank quick. And so I was like, I wanted to numb that feeling ASAP so I can just celebrate my dad because I didn't want to rob him from his birthday get party. So I drank quick. But yeah, that was the moment that I was like, my mom's gone.
So, that sounds so hard.
It was really hard. And then not in thinking like she didn't get to 70. But I'm blessed that my dad did, like it's like a double sword, like must he said like bittersweet.
See,
Yeah.
Really bittersweet. Pero that's life. I got to celebrate my daddy-o. I'm proud of that. Le doy gracias a Dios. But at the moment, I robbed him from being there 100% in the moment because aquí estaba mi mamá. I wore her necklace, to carry her because she should have been there. But yeah, in the back of my mind, she was present. Like, no está mi mamá. Me falta mi mamá. Nos falta mi mamá. Because I could see it in the girls too. Even though we didn't talk about it, it was like, my mom's missing.
You felt it like amongst you all.
There's a picture where my dad's like, we're all surrounding my dad and we're singing. Mi papá le canta cantar, eh. I swear I can drink when I've had one or two tequilas, but I can't. Don't let me. But anyways, we're all surrounding my dad, and you can sense it in that picture that we're all together hugging my dad. But it's really because we're missing my mom, including him. That's how I see that picture. But it's one of my favorite pictures of us, like me, my sisters, and my dad. And I'm just like, todas juntas, including him, somos mi mamá, you know? Peace of my mom. But yeah, that's that picture for me.
That's hard, and you have proof of it, so when you look at that, that's your immediate thought when you look at that picture, just a reminder of that moment. Martha, what did you do when you had to figure out who you were on your own, without your mama?
ay, that's a tough one. I think the biggest one is, having kids and being a mom without your mom. It's something I shared with my kids. The day after my mom passed, I even sat with them, before we went to her house. That's another triggering event, right? Because it was the first time I stepped into her house without her. Y les dije, "I don't know how long I'm gonna be like this. I've never lost, somebody so big, but I don't know how to be a mom without a mom. I want my mom, and I don't think I figured out yet how to be my own person, and I am like we said earlier, I'm a new version of me, and I don't even know I like it, pero the fact that I just can't even pick up the phone, like, to text her, to call her, just como dices tú, you see videos of Ernie y todo, pero takes you so far. Y el abrazo, y la risa, y su sazón, su comida, her presence, her vibrant presence. I do not know how to be me, and I do not know how to be a mom without a mom. Like, I am a mom, pero you feel so needy of your mom. What would she do? What would she think? And, no sé, girls, la verdad, I haven't found that out.
Work in progress.
It's a journey. Bitty bitty bam bam.
Yes, we were supposed to start with a shot today.
Tengo mi agua. Where's my water?
Girl, I will put this shit
Matcha.
on pause. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me
I I have vodka, I think.
Oh, vodka shot. I have that Gran Malo, La Jessica. I hate them. What is it? Tamarindo? Or is it?
Yeah,
You
grandmother.
hooked me on that one. Like when we took those shots when my mom passed with
First time,
everyone.
yeah.
We took
Time
him
she
at your
had.
house. I just showed up. I'm like, y tú, you need something.
You know me? I'm gonna get you drunk. I'm gonna get you
Pero
drunk.
no te voy a abrazar.
Drunk.
No te voy
That's
a
the
abrazar.
mission.
No, no se deja abrazar, but the other day la agarré dormida y borracha, so I hugged her.
Jessica, did you sense that the purpose of what matters in life changed for you and how?
It changed with all 3 of my losses. Obviously, my first one, losing, my partner and my kid's dad, I knew that my purpose was to be their everything, and they weren't gonna go without. And I remember telling Julian, "I got it from here, tú descansa," and I took it, so I knew my purpose then. When I lost my mom, I knew my purpose is now I'm one of the oldest sisters. I'm the 3rd one. That my little sisters, it's important to me that we all stick together, that we don't have fallouts, that we mix, we fix things, that we stay together. And my purpose is for me to live to be 100 so I can see my great grandkids. Like I want to make as many memories as I can with everybody, my dad, my sisters, my family, my husband, my kids, grandkids, my future grandkids, my friends, my circle. It's important to be present and um, to be there, when they need me.
That's a good way of the what I hear from other people who have lost their a loved one is that when they have grandkids, which you already do that, that's when they started seeing happiness again or feeling like a reason to be happy again after losing someone at a younger age before, before you have grandkids. But you have a lot to, in our kids as well, but they say that the grandkids bring that joy that we're that spark that we're missing when we lose a loved one.
There's nothing like the love for a grandkid. It's different than your kids. If they say my kids are like, "Do you love my kids more than you?" Hell yeah, I do. I do. Whatever I didn't do with you, obviously parents don't come with instructions. We've made mistakes. I was a really young mom. Poor Angel got the rough draft of me. We grew up together. Pero with my grandkids, I'm way more patient. I'm way more lovable, and I'd take 2. I get to do what I didn't do with my kids with them, and
Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful though too. You have them to keep you alive still. We think
Jasmine knows that God Almighty, they drive me nuts, and I could child abuse these little 3, but then that's the grandma kicks in as soon as I start the car, and I was like, "¿Por qué no se callaron?" When if had it been my kids, they would have fucking all got smacked in the back. All of them would have got their ass kicked. But because it was them, I was like, "You lo it." But it was like, not que ver with the just my kids got. It's like, they're like,
yeah. Um, Martha, what does it mean to honor your mom while also becoming someone new? I know you hate to hear the new version of you, but I mean, wherever we are in limbo of who we are becoming.
I'll make this one positive because it should be positive, right? Um, I'm becoming someone new. I don't like that version, but the honoring her, I do. Uh, I would have wished to have done more for her in vida because you regret a lot, right? So now all I have is to honor her and carry her legacy. Uh, just by cooking everything she loved to cook. And I'll say, mi mamá le gustaba esto, le gustaba que le hiciera esto. My mom liked it when I did this. Oh, my mom would have loved this. I brought all her plants over here. I think I've said that before. So I love talking to her plants. I repeat that all the time because I'm not that person. So I love honoring her through her plants, through her food. That's her legacy. Her legacy was love and nurturing y canija. Pero ella, como les digo, les enseñaba amor con comida, con su presencia, just being there, not just cooking for you and talking about her plants and drinking coffee with you. And so I try to do that. El otro día nos estaban comiendo los mosquitos a mí y al Joe, but I'm like, let's sit outside by my mom's plants. It's nice. Se nos fue la luz. He's like, um, I want to be here for you. Like, this is nice, pero Gorda, can we go inside? I'm like, wow, rude. So, we were getting attacked by the mosquitoes, but I kind of just wanted to be close to her lights and her plants. So I just honor her by making sure that I talk about her. I can make it out eat and I can get a vibe right away if you don't really care to hear for it. But I'll guess I'll just keep at him like my mom this and my mom would have done that. And so I cook her recipes and they're nothing like hers. I mean, everyone says que tengo su sazón, but I criticize. I'm like, this is not like my mom's. This is ridiculous. This is shit food. But I don't think we're all gonna have our different sazón. So un día ojalá que les haga yo comida
Should be an episode.
Forward to it.
con la cabeza, los tacos de cabeza.
Cooking with Marta.
And she did. Según me sale la cabeza igual que mi mamá, I guess Rodolfo's gonna have to tell me.
God knows.
God knows.
I love that. So, Jasmine, now when you look in the mirror now, do you recognize yourself? Or how different do you see yourself?
Seriously, that question, I really don't recognize who I am right now. I'm hoping that I do. But when I look at myself in the mirror, I see like Ernie's eyes sometimes. I see I don't know if I'm looking for it or. Yeah, I talk to myself in the mirror while I'm also talking to him. I don't know what I'm trying to do when I do that, but I don't recognize who I am, but I see him in me in a lot of ways, and I see Ernie in not just in the mirror, but in other things that I do and the things that I picked up from him. But yeah, it's a good question because I will deeply look into my eyes and I will like look in the mirror and I feel like I could see his eyes. Is that weird?
I do that. When people tell me, "Te pareces a tu mamá," I'm like, oh, it's like the biggest compliment to me. Is like you made my day. It's like I walk with an extra pep that day. And then when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I have a nose. I have, que me siente, yeah, I understand you completely. When you say you're looking for Ernie, I look for my mom. I think we all do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do it.
I
That's
wouldn't
why I was like,
expect that. You
yeah,
do? Okay.
100. I'm not
I'm
the
gonna
only
take it.
weirdo. No, because you think you're weird. You think you're weird when you do things like that. You're like, am I being weird? And I'm like, okay, no, me and Jasmine are weird.
I really did because
I
a
do
lot of
too.
people growing up, they either told me like you look like Lisette or you look like Ernie. Those were the two that I always looked like. Um, but I'll do a funny side note really quick about Ernie. This is probably going to be edited out, by the way. Um, so one time, me and my husband, before we were husband and wife, we were in like doing this whole makeout, right? And then like you stop kissing and then you look at each other, and Gabe was like, "Oh shit, you look like Ernie."
You gotta leave this on. You have to leave this.
And you're like, hey, I love that story.
Okay, I'll leave it in.
What advice would you give yourself if you could go back? Like what was something that was helpful, and what is something that somebody told you that you're like, nope, that's not something you should tell somebody that's grieving.
Um, the stupidest advice I've ever gotten, to each their own, was when someone told me that I have to keep busy and I have to work to not think about her. What do you guys think about hearing that? Like, you've been through grief. Well, we got to keep you busy. You got to get to work so you can stop thinking about it. I'm
Nothing.
like,
It's not a switch off. Something you can
the
switch off.
fuck? ¿Sí me entiendes? So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think on that one, pero
Speaking of that, I feel like and then you don't you I think what you're saying I agree with, but do you think that you're unintentionally overcommitted right now? Like you're staying really busy, I feel, but are you doing that for you because that's how you are or before your mom? Like you were just a workaholic, go, go, go? Or do you feel that you're kind of in a way also trying to stay busy?
well, I think I'm only busy because it's the season to be busy, right? Jess kind of knows about that. So I don't have a choice but to be busy. And it's okay because when I am busy, yes, I don't think about her as much, but it doesn't mean I'm intentionally doing that. And it doesn't mean that's the type of advice you should give someone. Maybe it works for other people. I have Joe, I have, my kids are grown, pero pues, o sea, I have my business. I have a lot of things I do as hobbies. Um, pero I'm always a busy person.
Okay.
Like, I'm always on doing something. If I have space, I will take on another project because I'm crazy like that. I shouldn't, honestly.
I feel one of the things that shouldn't be said to people, I think it fucking irritates me, is the one to be strong. What they're saying, yes, you have to be strong, but in some moments, you don't have to be strong. I mean, as if we're not already strong because we have to go to the hospitals, go do the arrangements, go to their house, pick up their stuff, clean their stuff, or see my dad alone. My little sisters or whatever. Like you have to be strong. You don't have another choice. I hate when people tell other people be strong. No, you don't have to be strong. You can have a meltdown. You can cry. You can have your day and shut the world out. You're entitled. Like being strong is exhausting, but also living with grief is really exhausting. Because if you've never felt it, it can drain your battery because you're learning to be a new version of you. You're missing your person. And everybody, all of us are moms, everybody needs you. And it's like we don't have any time off. And we can't, we como que no nos dejan like, we don't get the choice to, like, not cook today or you know what I mean? Like, we don't have that choice. Like, oh, we have to cook, we have to wash, we have to clean, and we have to grieve. And sometime in el día, I'll grieve. I'll think about it, So don't tell me to be strong. I don't want to be strong every day, all the time. So to me,
Yeah,
that's one when I hug people and I tell them, you don't have to be strong. You want to have a
yeah,
meltdown? Have your fucking meltdown.
yeah, and you have to um, I love how you said that because exactly, I felt that recently. I remember trying to tell myself, "No, I just gotta tackle through this day. No llores." Like, it was just I usually cry if I have to, but I remember holding it in because I was so busy at work, que I'm like, "¿Qué? No." Me subí al carro, I just opened my heart to God y le platiqué con él, y pues, every time I do, I cry, yo, "Where's my mom?" And put her in the chat here with you and me, you know? Y lo dejé soltar, and it doesn't mean I felt amazing, like, "Ay, me siento como la mejor persona del mundo," but it felt like I let something go that was hurting right here, right in the middle, you know? So it's better to sit with it, right? And not be strong. You don't have to be.
I'm sure you heard it a lot,
1000.
Jasmine. So when you heard it, how did it helpful? Did it help you or
No, I don't think so.
that?
No.
I don't know, guys. I think because I'm so in my own, like, I honestly, I feel like I'm not exaggerating when I say that I really feel like I'm grieving alone. I don't talk about it much with people. I'm in a sibling grief group and they're all strangers, which is cool, but it's cool to like do that. And that works for me, and reading books. And I talk to my husband very little about it, because I feel like he's not grieving, he doesn't understand. So anyway, yeah, I don't, sorry.
What got you guys through those first impossible weeks and months since you guys are both in your first year? What has gotten you guys through that?
For me, I instantly coming back because I think I was just numb for so long. And sometimes I question if I still am. Like, it's weird. Like, I'm like, okay, am I am I feeling this? Like, because it hits you over and over. But no, I was like on autopilot, from like his last days through like doing all the funeral arrangements and going to the funeral and da, 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 and all the way till I stayed in Yuma for a month after he passed, and I came home, and I think that's when I was like, what do I do now? I'm so used to just being on autopilot. Like, what do I need to do? Like, I had to get his affairs in order, so I didn't have time. But then once I got here, I think I just like reading the books really did help connecting with other grieving friends like you guys, and grieving family members like that from out of town that I've stayed in contact with. I think that's kind of where I find some comfort, but for the most part, I think it's just in groups and reading books and praying.
Like for me, I talk to myself. I talk to my mom. I'm like you, Jasmine. I mean, obviously, this podcast is a lot for me because I'm not a big. I don't like to open up to people. So I do. I talk to myself. I talk to my mom. But I get it.
But isn't this a good therapy, I feel? I feel good after, like, not like, como te digo, amazing, but I feel heard.
Yeah, you guys are
I feel
going through your guys' first. This is your first year. So how are you guys handling that? How are you handling your guys' first? I know, Jasmine, you're already a little towards hitting your 1 year mark. Can you elaborate
Yeah,
and let people know?
2 months away. I was just thinking about that today. It's 2 more months. It'll be a year, and I'm just thinking like, okay, it's the year first. and every first has hurt, every calendar month, everything hurts, right? And then I'm like, so what does that mean for year 2? Like, it's getting further away. I'm thinking about it in this sense. It's like, um, now I'm not gonna count the months. Now I'm gonna count by years. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's am I? I'm gonna be like I know this is gonna sound silly, but I'm gonna be like the toddler. Like he's 18 months today. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, that still hurts. Like, right? It's I'm gonna be like, it's been 13 months, 14 months, because I know that every ninth for me is always gonna it's always gonna remind me. You know? I don't know. You were both 44 when you lost your mom, right?
Yes.
And Ernie was 44.
Really? The force. I just remember my mom's first year was like, but my mom's first year was like, oh, it's a year, like, oh, first Mother's Day, first my birthday, first Christmas, and you guys are going through it. But I think Jasmine sent me just recently, um, not a meme,
For real?
a reel of a person in year 2, and that hit home. Like, because people think now that I'm in year 2 that, okay, well, I got it together and I don't mourn my mom and I don't miss her and we're okay. They're traveling. No, I was like, I wrote back Jasmine all these crying emojis. I'm like, this is me. This is where I'm at. Like, now I'm like, como que te pega poquito más, like, oh shit, they are gone. Because you're going into year 1 with knowing like they're not gonna be here for Christmas. Oh my God, Christmas is coming. No va a estar. Marta, no va a estar learning, no va a estar mi mamá, you know it. But then the second year is like, they're really not here. They're gone. You know what I mean? Like, for those that think year 1 is your hardest, it is. It is your hardest. It's important. It's crucial. It molds you. Um, but then as the years go, you're like, wow, el tiempo no perdona y no espera nada, for sure.
Is that your motto, Jess? El tiempo no perdona?
No, el tiempo no perdona, but I also my motto is that time waits for nobody. Life continues, life goes on, people keep going, and it will no se va a detener. El tiempo no se detiene, like the world will keep going. We had to continue to live without my grandma, and then my mom le lloró hasta su último día. My last conversation, deep conversation with my mom was about my grandma, her mom, and I love that conversation because that set the tone for how I'm gonna live without her. It's like she had given me como que me pasó a warning, like a big advice. I'm like, okay, that's the tone I'm gonna live without you. I get it. Oddly enough, that was my last conversation and she set the tone. I'm like, okay, I'm never not gonna miss you. I'm never not gonna need you, you know. Yeah.
Have
Do you guys have any sort of podcasts, resources that you guys felt were really helpful?
I do. I personally uh go to anything that's sibling related grief because I think it's such a enfranchised grief. So I need to really like dig into people who relate to that. So I bought this book. It's called Grieving Room, and I heard her on a podcast, the Grief and Light podcast, and she's amazing. She lost her only brother. But the author that wrote this book, she when she was saying her story, how her sister had a cancer journey for 8 years, everything she said was so relatable. I almost felt like it was my story, and I was like, I have to read this book. So I immediately ordered this book, and I didn't know what I was gonna expect from this book, but I have cried through every chapter. I feel like I'm reliving my story with him and in moments. It's so well written. I really suggest this book. Grieving Room, I will. And I finished Surviving the Death of a Sibling. This is a really good book as well. They're both very well written and they've been very helpful because the other one has different the death of a sibling has different sibling stories um and how they navigated through all these different waves of grief. So
Martha, did you join any grief support?
I did at first. I went to hospice, have a free grief support group. I did like it, pero I'm not one to follow through on something. So I feel like my grief support group became this. And I'm really excited to say that because I'm like, I need to join something. I need something, pero nothing against how they did it. They're amazing at what they do, but it didn't align with me. And I was always trying to find like who can listen to me and who a quien me desahogo that feels like therapy, right? And this is it. Because when I have a really bad day, I can reach out to any of you girls and you guys are gonna be there for me. And I think vice versa, right? Whatever
Yes.
you need, I'm gonna be here for you girls. And so this is my grief support group. And I'm glad that we've created this platform. Why we created this platform to let people like sit here with us and to be there for them in a way and maybe them be there for us and create a community. So this is my grief support group. You girls are my biggest supporters, aparte de mi esposo y mis hijos.
Because you guys are you're in their belongings. Like how hard was that? Did you keep them? Did you get rid of them? Did you put them away? Are they still out? Like, I think that's that a lot of people we all do it differently, but I want to know what you guys did.
I unfortunately had 24 hours. Ernie's rent was due and he had to get out of the apartment because we couldn't pay the extra month. So we literally had like 24 hours to like hurry up and start getting rid of stuff. So he passed away at 1 in the morning and at 10:30 a.m. I think we were all at his apartment, like everybody show up and let's pack up what and we didn't have time to really sort through who wants to keep this, who wants to obviously the bigger stuff that was more meaningful, but we it was really that's really sad. It breaks my heart because we got rid of so much stuff that we just couldn't take on because we had nowhere to take it. Well, no, everything went to either the dumpster or donated, and like you know, it sucks. But I kept his clothes, his shirts, which I want to make something out of. And all his kids kept like a guitar of his because he had so many instruments and drums and stuff. So like that kind of stuff that was meaningful. His kids, obviously, I was like, you guys take it on, and whatever you guys don't want, I'll take. What about you guys? Tú, Marta?
This was a family feud when it happened. Lo que somos mis hermanas más grande y yo, my dad made us go through all my mom's stuff just a few days after she passed. And the whole 30 days that I was off and my sister was here, and we would be donating and donating and keeping and everything. My mom was a hoarder, a big time hoarder. And you wanna keep everything you can, right? But you can't. You should see my house right now. I'm a hoarder, and I never was because I wanted to make sure I have si lo tiro o lo dono, my mom's gonna kill me, right? Pero people that didn't know that my dad made us do it were pissed off at us. Like my brother and my other little sister, she understands now. They thought, "My God, she's just been gone a couple of days, and they're going through everything, and they're donating, like, how insensitive." People were telling other people they wouldn't come and tell us this, pero behind our backs, nos dimos cuenta, and we're like, we were crying while we were doing this. We then had to go to California to her other house and do it, me and my sister solas también, for the days we were there. How do you think we feel that we're being forced to go through this? That we have to not only plan my mom's funeral, my sister and I did it all. La gente habla por hablar sin saber. It's heavy on us to do it. You think we weren't hurting, crying, going through all her memorabilia, right? No entiende, hay veces que te quedas ahí. No hables si no sabes. Cállate.
Exactly.
Funny because my dad made us go through my mom's stuff and pick her stuff, and it was the week that it happened. I think it wasn't the next day, but it was within before the services, and I wasn't ready. I couldn't do it. I mean, I got some stuff, uh, stuff that I gave her or that I can pin to a trip that we did, but I wasn't ready to like, oh, I want this or no. I got things that I got shirts that she had in her hamper que no lavó because I wanted her scent. So that was like little shirts, that I gave her and, una que hice Sonora, and little things. Some shoes, my mom was a hoarder too, something in the name, Marta. She had a lot of stuff, but I wasn't ready to go through her stuff when my dad told us, so I didn't get a lot of stuff. I did steal her red nail polish, if my sisters want to know, because they were looking for it like crazy. I have it. I have it. I stole that. And they were looking for it. I'm like, no, no se los voy a dar because I'm never going to get it again. Ironically, I've never worn red nails, but I have it because it was my mom's favorite nail polish. So, see, chamacas, I have it. You could stop looking for it. She didn't take it to the other side with her. Ahí Jessica lo tiene. Like, it's hard to go through their stuff. It's hard to, and everybody's so different. Some people come and take everything out right away, and some people leave it for years. I did that with my babe, my first husband, Julian. I left his stuff till I moved out of California. That's what I did. And then I couldn't put it away. And I still have his stuff. And with my mom, I couldn't go through her stuff the day of. Pero I keep looking around her house when I go over because my dad still has everything. I'm like, what do you want, de mi mamá? ¿Qué me llama?
Would you tell Jessica 2 years ago if you could go back?
Tell my mom that I love her. That she was way more to me than I told her. I, sh- I took her for granted. She was my everything. I should have told her. I wish you know what? In my defense, I didn't know my mom was what she is to me. It's, one of those things you don't know what you have till it's gone. That's me and my mom. So Jessica 2 years ago would have been way more vocal and patient and loving with my mom. But that was my relationship with her. I don't carry that guilt at all. But if I could go back, that's what I would do. I would tell her that I loved her way more than she thought. She was way more important than what I um vocalized. You? Like Jasmine?
If I could go back to a year ago
Yeah.
or 2 years, 2 years, um, I think that I would definitely have asked more questions that he was avoiding because, like I said, I couldn't have a conversation with him to I feel like he knew very much how much I loved him, and he was always worried that I was always worried about him. So he's
Mhm.
like, "Sis, you need to stop stressing about me." And then I think he knew because like I would send him texts like in the middle of the night, like, "Hey brother, I found this remedy. Let's try this." And it was like 3, 4 in the morning. So he knows that I was like off the wall, like trying to freaking find a cure. Um, I don't know if I would do I would ask him more. I would wanna know more of how he was feeling, towards the end, and, like, so we can talk about that. I feel like he left, like, not talking to anyone about where he was because I can't imagine, like, knowing that I'm gonna die and that I only have a few weeks or days or whatever it is, and not talk about it with someone. And I suggested counseling to him, and he didn't wanna do it. He didn't wanna do it with anyone, so I don't know, I always wonder, like, si se fue sin hablar con nadie de ese duelo, ese miedo que tenía or how he was feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I hate saying it, but I should have advocated more for her and listened to her. And when we were at the doctor's, I should have been like, no. And I would have been after her to take her medication and for her to drink water. I would probably take time off if I could go back to sit with her, cook for her, and give her the water and the electrolytes she needed that she ignored and she didn't take. I would have just been a prison. It would have been a prison for her because I would have been like her soul, like just treat her like a soldier, right? And she would have been here. She would have been here. But I didn't. I ignored the signs and I avoided hearing it because to us it was just a routine hospital visit for a UTI. Like, what can happen? She's not gonna die from that. Guess what? Surprise!
I want you to tell everybody what surprises you the most about your strength and resilience.
The fact that something so painful can still allow you to get up every morning and function. Cuando pierdes a tu persona, right? Y sientes como que es una desesperación. Like, oh, I'm not gonna see them again. They're not gonna be here for my birthday, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving. Y te entra como una desesperación, como una angustia tan grande. Do you guys know what I'm saying? And the fact that you can live with that, that's insane. I'm gonna tell you that. I didn't know I was strong, because I'm just barely, like, trying to survive, but it seems like I'm carrying it very well, I'm assuming, right? But I'm not. I'm not. So I am surprised that I can still get up every day, take a shower, function, go to work, and make good decisions. How? I don't know, but maybe it's just like another Marta que está por ahí, like el angelito y el diablo is like, quédate, y el angelito is like, no, you gotta make some money. But the fact that you lose your person and it becomes like just such a big suffering and you can still go on with your day, that's weird. Is there any advice that any of you would give? I don't know, Jazz, for someone who had lost their person, right? And feels like they'll never be okay again. What would you want them to know?
That things are not gonna be the same ever again. You're not gonna be the person you were before you lost your loved one. As much as you try to find her or yourself, there's always going to be this void there, but there is hope after you lose a loved one. I think we need to look and find what to be grateful for every day. I think that's kind of one thing that can help me now is like when I'm in the deepest hurt some days, I look at my kids and, like, I see them playing, smiling, laughing, and it's like, "Okay, this is what life is about." Like, we still have a family to live for or for anyone. I'm sure you have loved ones, that are there for you and that love you. You're a loved person, but that there is hope after losing the one you love, but it's just you're not gonna be the same person.
Changes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is our episode, our third episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for sitting with us. The next episode will be about pain, guilt, anger, and bargaining. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at I Get Sad Podcast. Thank you guys for your time. Please leave your comments and messages. We'd love to hear from all of you.
Bye.